Do you talk to yourself? I do, and I always have done. And generally speaking, I think it's because I'm the only one that makes sense. Now, it might seem a bit kind of making an assumption there, but I think it's actually true. It seems to be deeply rooted in us that we have an internal dialogue. And if you're aware of your internal dialogue about things, it's your tuition, okay? So it's your tuition that's actually telling you when something is right or wrong or whatever. But talking to yourself out loud, like I'm doing now, I'm talking to a camera. But even so, when I'm out and about on my own, generally walking in the forest or in a park or whatever, I am always talking to myself. Now, I even do it in my head. I actually prefer to verbally talk to myself, okay? And there is a very good psychological reason for that, because you can ask questions, okay? You can tell yourself things. You can and what you're doing is you're sending those messages to your intuition and you're asking for feedback. That's basically what's actually happening. But because I'm quite an auditory sort of person, I like it's not about listening to your own voice. You like the sound of your own voice. I mean, I think that's a term that comes from people who probably don't talk to themselves and they don't internalize anything. They're not really checking with themselves, and so when they come across somebody who is talking to themselves, they sort of make a joke of it. They make fun of it, which is wrong, really. You could say it's a bit of a red flag about that particular person, but I think it always works. It's got me through tough times. It's got me through some difficult situations where sometimes you don't have anyone to talk to. Sometimes the subject is possibly too sensitive, or it's something, personal to you, and so you just feel more comfortable talking to yourself about a problem. Sometimes you don't even get the answer straight away. Sometimes you talk about something and you think, well, okay, I might just have to wait for the answer on that one, and it will invariably come, because you're almost setting the seeds in your, from your conscious mind to your subconscious. You're asking a question, you want to verify something, you will get an answer back. If not straight away, you will get an answer back. And that's when you have to become aware of signs around, where you could be watching a film, for instance, or you could be reading a book. You could be just having a conversation with something, and then click, you just recall, okay, that's the answer to that question that I had a week ago, a few days ago, a couple of months ago even. So it really, if you don't talk to yourself, I would say try it. If you do talk to yourself, you know exactly where I'm coming from. You're not going crazy. It's a good place to be for your own mental health, is to get out into a private area where no one can talk, no one can hear you, rather. You're not being interrupted by someone else talking, and you can just talk out loud as if you're talking to someone else, but you're actually talking to yourself. And it becomes something that you do on a fairly regular basis, especially if you're very internally referenced sort of person. You don't, but even if you're externally referenced type of person, just try it yourself. Just give your intuition and your gut feeling a chance to speak up for itself, as it were, and give you the answers that you may need. And of course it will be congruent to you, because it's coming from you and not someone else. You ask somebody else the same question, they're going to give you their map of the world and the way they think about something, rather than it being good for you, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, whatever you do, don't stop talking to yourself.